Hey everyone, hopefully you're having a good day. My name's Andy. My channel is Finding Value. Today we're going to do our daily technical analysis update of commodities. We'll take a look at the dollar, yields, precious metals, and commodities and ETFs that I follow. I'm going to give you my financial opinions around it. If you guys have any sort of questions around stocks, commodities, all that stuff, definitely check out finding-value.com. Become a platinum member. You can use the word discount in the coupon code. We have a Sunday, 5 p.m. Mountain Standard Time question and answer session for those platinum members coming up. So let's dive in here. I'll give you my opinions. We got the DXY, which is the dollar. The dollar basically sideways today, but I still think that this is going to strengthen. The momentum is definitely to the upside. So stronger dollar. We've got the 10-year yield. This is TNX 10-year yield. Sideways as well. And with the dollar going up, I do think yields could potentially continue higher. They're all kind of interconnected. And we have broken out of this pattern to the upside. TLT, which is bond prices, basically sideways. So everything's going sideways in terms of yields and bond prices, even with the dollar as well. So everything's just kind of moving sideways for yields and bond prices. TYX to TNX, this is the way the curve is moving. If the curve is inverting, which it is, so we're slightly lower, we've got this downward trend. So the curve is still inverting, which means that there's at least the perception of inflationary forces in the market. That is still persistent. We've got the CRB index that's heading a little bit lower today, down 1% for the CRB index. We can see that a little bit of a selling pressure of the past 3 days. We've just been basically moving sideways this entire time frame, grinding. So we're consolidating with time in commodities right now. That's what the consolidation is, going sideways. Sometimes these consolidate downward. Sometimes they can consolidate sideways with time. The CRB to S&P 500 ratio, slightly lower today, with the stock market just slightly outperforming commodities at this time. And we're right on that support level. We'll see if this line holds or if we move on up where commodities outperform stocks. We have broken this downtrend channel to the upside, doing a retest, then we generally work our way up from there. If we were to say that this failed, what we would look for is a break below this low here. Then that would be definitely a failure of that breakout. Gold, sideways. This is a day of sideways, but again, strong momentum to the downside keeps me on the bearish side in the short term. And again, you can be bearish in the short term, bullish in the long term. I'm very much a gold bull on the long term. I am bearish by looking at on the very short term. Silver, also, this is an inverted bloody nose, just like gold has. A lot of the times they continue a little bit lower in the short term. And right now, I'm still short-term bearish because of this large selling pressure candlesticks that we're seeing here and here and here. There's no big up candlesticks in this mix at this moment. Platinum, we are up today, but again, we had a monster down day yesterday. I think it's going to take time to consolidate that sell-off. And I do think we could potentially go sideways till slightly lower in the short term. And my view won't change until I see buying pressure, a big candlestick like this guy here, or some sort of reversal candlestick like a big hammer candlestick or something like that. XAU to gold ratio, we are kind of putting in a double bottom perhaps. We'll see if that thing holds or if we've got a little bit more downside left. I find it highly unlikely that this would bottom at this second if gold and silver continue lower. So GDX, slightly lower. We're kind of right at this spot there. Are we going to reverse and head on higher? Are we going to head a little bit lower? I don't try to predict the short-term movements. What I see is, we've got momentum to the downside. I think that might continue until I see otherwise. SILJ, also the same type of view there. We're right on support, and we'll see if that support holds of this guy coming across here. Crude oil, slightly lower, 1.34%. We've just been grinding back and forth here, trying to find a bottom here. I think we'll move up and away if we can break above $82 a barrel. We will fall down or really start to sell off dramatically if we go below $68 a barrel. But right now, everything looks all right, and we're just grinding sideways. Natural gas, right on support. That's where I drew the line before we even got back down here. But we're right on support. XOP, yeah, you know me, slightly down today. This still looks bullish in my view, or looking at it through my lens. We do have some good buying pressure here, and the selling pressure is a lot less than that buying pressure, which means it favors to the upside. Big picture view, we are coming to a point here. You can see that we are just going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, and eventually I think we'll work our way on up. Seasonality is coming for strength for oil, which is generally the summer driving months, spring and summer driving months. OIH still looking like it's in a sideways kind of consolidation pattern here. That's what we've got going on here, and we have not broken out yet. Big picture view, we have broken to the upside, and we're sitting on top of support, and eventually I think we'll work our way on higher with time. Sprott Physical Uranium Trust, again, we've got this selling pressure here, and there's no buyers that have come out and laid down a fat green candlestick, guys. So I'm still, sideways to slightly lower, depending on the grind that we get here in the short term. I got to see some big buying pressure. URNM, we're contracting in the candlestick with the opening and closing price, but we still need to get our way up where we've got some big buying pressure. The green army needs to still show up. There's no green army in this circle portion coming back here. So we're still in this little sell-off. We do not want to fall below this general vicinity, about $30. We don't want to fall below that. We want to stay above it. We want to gather ourselves and then work our way on higher. Looking at tan slightly lower. We're still above the resistance line right here, that trend line, and the support underneath us. We are basically coming to a point where we're about to explode, my guess, higher very soon. COPX, we are slightly up today, but again, we've got that large selling pressure from yesterday and the day before yesterday, which makes me think we're either going to consolidate sideways or go slightly lower in the short term. LIT right on support. We'll see if that support holds. We've got REMX, also lots of selling pressure here. I do think sideways to slightly lower in the candlesticks, at least the way that I'm reading it, until we get buying pressure that comes in and lay some fat green candlesticks. SPX still looking neutral. It's a big bullish engulfing here. So we popped higher there, and then we had a little reversal candlestick there. And now I would say that's a continuation pattern to the downside with a inverted bloody nose. So we might have a little bit more downside left. So sideways to down, maybe slightly lower in a lot of these overall market companies, NASDAQ and S&P. Emerging markets right on support. There's that support line going across, and that's what we're grinding on. XHB slightly higher. This is the home builders. And I do think this actually, it's kind of neutral looking in this portion there, but I would say momentum is to the upside. We've got Moo. Moo just moving sideways right at support, squeezing between two trend lines and a support line and a trend line, or two trend lines, support and resistance. Copper slightly higher. This is a battle between buyers and sellers above a nice strong support level long-term at $3.83. This still looks good to go higher over time. Lumber, just consolidating. We're squeezing on up, and I do think this will work its way higher. We're on support, broken out of this falling wedge. We've got iron ore. We'll go to the lines. Iron ore is at 127.33, so we're right in that general vicinity. Waiting to move on up. We've got nickel moving sideways, still looking good from my perspective, above support. We've got aluminum slightly lower today, down 1.7%. Still looks good, still above where we need to be, and we could move on higher with time. Baltic Dry Index still looking great, moving to the upside. Looks great. We've got Newcastle Coal slightly lower, and I do think it's going to work its way down here. Give it some time. It's going to take some time to consolidate. Then we got Ethereum, which has been moving sideways. Right here, moving sideways, and Bitcoin just moving sideways. This could fall down a little bit. We do have compression here. No buyers are showing up. The sellers could easily whack this thing lower if they want to. So lots of consolidation going on right now. Lots of stuff moving sideways. This generally happens during parts of the year. Just the way it is. Got to be patient. Find your companies. Find the ones that you really like. Accumulate over time. And what I do is I do nothing. I just sit in it and wait. There's not much else you can really do. Do I think we're on the precipice of a crash? No, I don't think so. Obviously we can back test. We're on top of breakouts for the most part. Things look pretty good. It's just going to take some time. If you guys like the content, give me a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and we'll catch you next time. This is Finding Value.